Greetings, everyone. This is the third time I'm coming here live. Second time, the Christians took my attention away very cleverly, and I have no help here. As you can see, the Shias have much help, um, but none of the Shias will come here. Using reason, and in the name of God, even Sunnis, Shias, killing for apostasy at least, or confining the women or girls, or being strict with them if they don't follow, right? So this small girl's 9 years old. If they don't pray, the father, mother can be strict with them. And also on apostasy, especially if Shias, they confine their women until they revert to Shia Islam. You cannot force people to do this. You cannot force your children to do this. This is highly unhealthy to do, forcing your children or another or your brother or to come stay in Islam and not leave Islam, even after research has been done and they know that Islam is a false religion, as I know, and I've done my research on this. So again, starting from some ayats here, Surah. Let's go to Surah. So, Surah Azab ayat 5 says, okay, where I left off. Then I got distracted by the Christians coming here, and I had to defend the Muslims. O you who have believed, do not enter the houses of the Prophet except when you are permitted for a meal. Okay, wait, no. Fifth ayat, what am I doing? So, okay, I'm tired and can't, but I will just a little bit here. Surah Azab, verse 5. Can you call your adopted sons after their true sons? So what the Prophet did here, I should have gone to multilingual. In the market of Akaz, I'm not saying it, it's a Shia authentic commentary. In the market of Akaz, Zaid bin Harith was being sold as a slave. The Holy Prophet bought him and adopted him as his son. The father of Zaid was a man of means. When he came to know that his kidnapped son was sold as a slave, he approached Abu Talib. Please see this kidnapped son. The Prophet doesn't know that this son is kidnapped. How old is he? Can he not speak? What is going on here? It is not me. And this is not even Sunni Hadith tafsir. This is Shia tafsir. Kidnapped son was sold as a slave. He approached Abu Talib to obtain the freedom of Zaid from his nephew. The Holy Prophet at once set him free and gave him permission to go with his father. But Zaid decided to remain with the Holy Prophet. The Holy Prophet asked the people to bear witness that from that day Zaid was his son and he was his father. Then he married his cousin Zainab, a very beautiful young woman. So it is enough here that the Prophet asked the people to bear witness that from that day Zaid was his son. I'm reading out Shia commentary, nothing from myself here about this. And he was his father. That Prophet Muhammad was Zaid's father now. Aka Medipuya says, if there is absolute submission to the will of Allah in the heart of a man, there cannot be any room for ghair Allah, other than Allah in it. So why are you practicing, O Prophet, ghair Allah? Practice, right? By adopting a son, when it is said here, okay, you made a mistake, okay, but you are forgiven. Fifth, call them by the names of their fathers. Okay, you are blame on you. No blame on there, but there is no blame on you if you make a mistake therein. What counts is the intention of your hearts. What is it actually saying, this ayat? Call the adopted sons by their natural fathers and not by those who have adopted them, which corresponds with truth and reality. Right? Okay, let's go with your Allah. So there are Sunni Muslims, Shia Muslims in Islam. You have given a lie in the name of that true one God. Because I'm proving contradictions, not only from Quran ayats, but now from the commentary section. So the Quran ayat says, but there is no blame on you if you make a mistake therein. Light of Shia commentary, because brotherhood. So I'm not the one saying it. I didn't adopt Zed and give him my name. I wasn't Prophet Muhammad. So what do you think is God doing here by these ayats? Correcting Prophet Muhammad's action and saying and giving him Zed, giving Zed his name. If you don't believe me, how can you not believe me? Because you don't have to believe me. It's the Quran ayats and your commentary, Shia. The Prophet is closer to the believers than their own selves and their wives. This let me just come to another what. And remember, we took from the prophets the covenant, and that Allah may question. So here, no, it's just these ayats which say, but follow that which comes to thee by inspiration from thy Lord. O Prophet, number 1, ayat 1, Surah Azab. O Prophet, fear Allah and hearken not to the unbelievers and the hypocrites. Verily Allah is full of knowledge and wisdom. Fear Allah, safeguard yourself against evil, okay, with the help of the divine laws made by Allah, and do not obey, hearken to, follow the disbelievers and the hypocrites. It's of the Holy Prophet through him. But here, my dear, the believers did not do anything against, like they didn't hear. It's the Prophet himself. He didn't practice this adoption. If they were forgiven. But it's the Prophet himself making Zaid his son and giving him the name according to the un-Islamic way. So, but follow that which comes to thee by inspiration from thy Lord. Now, can you follow? Can you, Shias, Sunnis, Muslims, follow that which comes to this Prophet by inspiration from thy Lord when the Prophet himself is not following? The inspiration has not come about Zaid. God should have corrected him, right? There and then. Don't make Zaid your, don't follow the polytheists. They are hypocrites. Their way. So you see, the second ayat has a fallacy here. It is not good for you anymore. It is not good. It does not stay good. Because the Prophet himself, on whom the inspiration of his Lord is coming, has faltered, hasn't he? I mean, you would say that in this ayat it says, God is saying that it is not your fault if you did it, because these believers, they didn't know any better before the inspiration came. But the Prophet, before an inspiration came to him, He's doing it, he didn't wait for the inspiration. So, how can you follow a prophet who doesn't even wait for the inspiration coming to him and adopt a son according to the un Islamic way? Un Islamic, let's see what Aka Mehdi Puya says about adoption in this way. To save, okay, according to pagan formula, when a man wanted to get rid of his wife without making her free to remarry, he simply said to her, no, this is not important, this part. Likewise, an adopted son was treated as a natural son. It was this crudity of the pagan morals that upon the holy prophets here. Do you see this? I'm not the one saying it, crudity of the pagan morals. Upon the holy prophets marrying the divorced wife of his freed man Zed, who, no. Likewise, an adopted son was treated as a natural son. Full stop. So it was this crudity of the pagan morals that upon the holy prophets marrying the divorced wife of his freed man Zed, who was also his adopted son, gave rise to a great deal of hostile criticism. Right? Islam abolished these widespread foolish customs. One of them being adopting the son as your real son, as the pagan Arabs used to. And it is a widespread foolish custom that your prophet followed. Your prophet followed. Shias. So, the point here is that your prophet, your own commentators are saying, Islam abolished these widespread foolish customs. Okay, but one of the custom of pagan Arab, the prophet himself practiced. And then he was told not to do it, like the way they used to do it. But he did it. In the beginning, he gave Zaid his name, bin Muhammad, Zaid bin Muhammad. Where does it say here? I'm not saying it. It is said here somewhere. Because he claimed on the account of fast in the market of Akaz. The Holy Prophet asked the people to bear witness that from that day Zaid was his son and he was his father. Right? Now, did he practice this? You know very well what he did. In the pagan Arab way. It says somewhere here, call the adopted sons by their natural fathers, and not by those who have adopted them, which corresponds with truth and reality. It is better to call them, it doesn't say here that Prophet Muhammad gave Zaid his name, like Zaid bin Muhammad. Let me see. This verse was revealed when some of the Holy Prophet's companions made excuses to avoid the march. The Holy Prophet ordered to meet the enemy at Tabuk. The word Awla refers to Mawla. None among you can ever be a true believer unless he accepts and obeys me as his master. Blood relations are nearer. The Prophet has a greater claim. This verse makes no. It doesn't say directly. I wish I could. Prophet Muhammad, it is a struggle. The Holy Prophet who not only guided them, when he came to know that the Holy Prophet at once set him free and gave him permission to go with his father. But Zaid decided to remain with the Holy Prophet. The Holy Prophet asked the people to bear witness that from that day Zaid was his son and he was his father. There's no objection in Shias on sons, adopted sons. But here in the 5th ayat, it says, but there is no blame on you if you make a mistake therein. What counts is the intention of your hearts. But there is no blame on you if you make a mistake. Call them by the name of their fathers. So did Prophet Muhammad practice the pagan Arab custom of adopting Zaid? And remember, we took the prophets and questioned custodians. And behold, they came on you from above you. Yeah. So I don't know. This is maybe the Shias want to say in this ayat that there's no blame on you for what you did before. You see how you could get a person in your own commentary through not looking at the ayats properly. So you could depart from, like, make people think that Prophet Muhammad took Zaid not as his own son, but according to according to Islam. Right? You have actually lied and dodged this ayat. You have come out of this ayat very nicely. If you like bring in the new experts, Quran experts, and new commentaries, right? You could easily do this. Your brothers. But if you know not their fathers' names, call them. So if you know their fathers' names, call them by the names of their fathers, right? If you know the father's name. That is juster in the sight of Allah. That is more just in the sight of Allah. But if you know not their fathers' names, call them your brothers in faith or your maulas. Maulas? But there is no blame on you if you make a mistake therein. Right? This part is for, you would say this part, like you say here, um, this part, in the beginning, you say that when the prophet is asked not to hearken to the hypocrites and the disbelievers, it means through him, his ummah is being addressed. And follow the inspiration revealed. Right? So you could say here that even this mistake that you made prior to Islam and the inspiration, you made a mistake. There is no blame on you if you make a mistake therein. You could twist and turn this ayat to your liking. It's for the Sahabas, it's for those Muslims it's for those pagans, Muslims who are pagans and who practice this. But you won't put the blame on Prophet Muhammad unless you wipe out this Shia commentary. You see this? The Prophet, the Shia commentary says the Prophet gave him his name. Right? No, it doesn't say that. It says that, bear witness that from that day Zaid was his son and he was his father. So this made me think that he has given Zaid his name, Zaid bin Muhammad, and that he practiced a pagan way. But on one hand, it says that Islam came to abolish these customs. Then why did the Prophet adopt Zaid according to the pagan Arab formula? According to pagan formula, when a man wanted to get rid of his wife without making her free to remarry, he simply said to her, "You are to me as the back of my mother." Likewise, an adopted son was treated as a natural son. It was this crudity of the pagan morals that, upon the Holy Prophet's marrying the divorced wife of his freed man, Zaid, who was also his adopted son, gave rise to a great deal of hostile criticism. Islam abolished these widespread foolish customs. So this means that he from the very beginning did not give Zaid his name. But that he abolished this pagan idol worshipping way. The Holy Prophet at once set him free and gave him permission to go with his father. But Zaid decided to remain with the Holy Prophet. The Holy Prophet asked the people to bear witness that from that day Zaid was his son and he was his father. But not like the way the pagan idol worshippers were taking their sons. They didn't realize this or something, I don't know. But it doesn't say, he said he would be his father, but it doesn't say he gave his name to him. Because it says that this is abolish these kind of ways. So he adopted Zaid according to the Islamic way, because it says it was this crudity of the pagan morals that, upon the Holy Prophet's marrying the divorced wife of his freed man Zaid, who was also his adopted son, gave rise to a great deal of hostile criticism. Called the adopted sons by their natural fathers and not by those who have adopted them, which corresponds with truth and reality. So it seems from this that uh, did Prophet Muhammad give Zaid his name, or did he from the very beginning say, no, this is not the way, this is your way, but I have adopted him in the Islamic way, and I can marry his ex-wife, right? It does not say in the Shias that he became like this, Zaid bin Muhammad. Let me see Shia account. Okay, this is a wiki Shia. Let's see. Abu Osama Zaid bin Haritha and Shara. Okay, known as Zaid bin Haritha, was the Prophet's stepson. That he was the Prophet's slave and was stepson. He was adopted son, not. I don't know what this is. Was the Prophet's stepson? Before that, please correct this. Stepson. Okay, stepson. What's a stepson? Adopted son. Okay. Before that, he was a Prophet's slave and was emancipated by him. He was one of the first people who converted to Islam and the only person from Sahaba, the Prophet's immediate companions, whose name is mentioned in the Quran. He was the commander in the Battle of Mu'tah and was killed in the battle. His grave, as well as the grave of other martyrs of Mu'tah, are located in Jordan. Zaid's father was from, so he was called Zaid al-Hub, that is the beloved Zaid, because he was loved by the Prophet. Zaid was a slave at first and was then emancipated by the Prophet, and this is why Zaid and his son Osama are called the Prophet's Mawali, slaves. Oh, this is not Mawla, this is Mawali, slaves. There is no accurate information about his date of birth during the period of Jahiliyyah or the pre-Islamic days of Arabs. Zaid visited the Banu. Zaid was captivated. He was 8 years old when Hakim bin Hazam purchased him for Lady Khadija in a slave market near Makkah. After a marriage with the Prophet, Lady Khadija bestowed Zaid to the Prophet. The Prophet emancipated Zaid and then kept him in his house. The Prophet is said to have been 10 years older than Zaid. Years later, Zaid saw some people of his tribe in the Hajj rituals and asked them to let his parents know about his health. His father had composed poems about his longing for Zaid. The father asked the Prophet to give Zaid back to him in exchange with money. The Prophet gave Zaid the option to stay with him or return to his tribe. Zaid chose to stay with the Prophet. Haritha, Zaid's father, told him, "Son, do you prefer slavery to freedom?" And do you leave your father alone? Zaid replied, since when I saw Muhammad, I never preferred anybody else to him. When the Prophet heard this, he said, Zaid is my son, he inherits from me, and I inherit from him. Since then, he was called Zaid bin Muhammad. Until Quran verses, Surah 33, verses 4 and 5, prohibited people from calling stepchildren or adopted children by the name of their stepfathers or adopted fathers. Allah has not made your adopted sons your sons. So this is, you see, Surah Azab, ayat 4 and 5, we come back to. And this is what the Shias also say, that he was Zaid bin Muhammad. And Muhammad said that he inherits from me and I inherit from him. Zaid is my son. This is wicked Shia. I'm not the one. Please have a look at this. So this, a crudity of was practiced. One of the crude customs of the pagans was practiced by Prophet Muhammad himself. This is Ex-Shia. Sources of Islamic history have mentioned Zaid bin Harith as one of the first people converted to Islam. I just want to see any. This is Ex-Shia and it is from the Shia Hadiths. Osama bin Zayd has narrated some hadiths from his father, Zaid bin Haritha. Okay, he had a son. References. Farsi Ex-Shia. The material for this article has been taken from in Farsi Ex-Shia. In Farsi. So I can't see where the reference is. Here. In Farsi. Acha, Ex-Shia Farsi. Irani. You see this? So you can check the references also. So I'm not the one saying this. Yes, it's in Shia sources. I also heard that Muhammad was given the name, Zaid was given the name of Muhammad by Prophet Muhammad. And he was practicing that means that yes, I'm right about this ayat. And then why is God then saying you made a mistake? Your holy prophet himself practiced this crude pagan custom. So please correct yourselves. Don't lie against Allah, the true one God. Abu Osama Zaid bin Harith, yani the father of Osama Zaid, known as Zaid bin Harith. Prophet Muhammad practiced the pagan Arab idol worshipping custom. This is what I've been saying. And one Shia told me, like, God knows what, really, please. So my mind will really. It is a mistake by the Prophet himself, whom the inspiration is coming. And if you read this Surah Tawbah, Surah Azab, sorry. And in your own commentaries, it was abolished by Islam. This horrible custom, senseless, nonsensical. So if you read these ayats, right, Surah Azab ayats, like I am saying, how can Prophet Muhammad practice this pre-Islamic custom of the pagans? And then your ulamas have been saying that it is such a terrible thing. O Prophet, fear Allah and do not. So you see here, and follow that which is revealed to you from your Lord. Indeed, Allah is ever of what you do aware. Hello, brother Mukesh. Mukesh says hello, sister. Thank you, Mukesh. Now you see, this I'm saying that how could Prophet Muhammad, when you are told to follow that which is revealed to you, when your Prophet Wahi didn't come, and Allah has abolished this type of practice. False prophet, false cult. No, true cult. False prophet and a true cult. Okay? False prophet and a true cult it is. So a Shia was like, but the sun is not real, but this is not, but anyways, like I'm being stubborn. But Zahra, the sun is, God has not made, He's not, Zaid is not, right? Now, if you're that kind of Shia, please, you don't want me to bang my head on the wall, fallacy, and puncture my logic. Now I've read out all the commentary, this, that, and there's more in Surah Tahrim also. And so you are wrong, Shias. You are wrong. You know why you are wrong? Not because I'm objecting to Zaid marrying Prophet Muhammad marrying. I'm not objecting to that. That will come later, not here. I'm objecting to the fact that Prophet Muhammad himself, being a prophet, practiced an Arab pagan and idol worshipping custom of adopting sons, adoption. And you made a mistake, in which you made a mistake. God does not hold you. How do you escape that? When it's in your own hadiths. And then the ayat is, number 2, follow that which has been inspired to you by the Lord. Oh God. Where is it? Surah Tawbah ayat. Surah Azab. Follow that which is revealed to you from your Lord. Huh? Is it telling you believers? It's actually telling the Prophet to follow that which is revealed to you from your Lord. Because what did he do? You see, your whole ayats, everything falls. You don't want me to puncture my pure logic. Pure logic. What have you done? You have done a great disaster for yourselves and others. And then you kill men and confine women for apostasy. Better to be smart like my uncle was. One of my uncles was an atheist, but he kept quiet. He never said a word, didn't share anything. I come here like a stupid person, putting my life at risk and banging on the head, on the wall, banging my head on the wall with these people. And you send this and obstacles, and I can feel that you are punishing me. Mukesh says, when a Muslim says me, brother, I feel how danger to me nobody knows. When he will trying to kill me in the name of his cult. Yes, yes, very true. You never know. And if I like for person like me, yes, yes. I never know when my government come and what they are doing, what tactics they have like spears, one after another coming. Some Christian coming, some Hindu coming. My father told them, hello, Sheikh Saab, I know my daughter. You just give her some time, she'll cool down, come back to this religion. Police not the executor. Someone did zulm on our family. She already dying. Yes, yes, not to trust any Muslim who calls you a brother. Feel danger. And you not to know what treachery there is, what the deception, what taqiyya, what the lies, what the brainwashing, and what the still very, very ziddi Muslims. Ziddi Mukesh bhai, तो मुझको इस रात की तन्हाई में. Mukesh, your name? Mukesh sing song coming. Mukesh brother. आवाज ना दो, आवाज ना दो, रोशनी मिल ना सकी, दिल को जलाया. And you know what? Injustice. There could be reincarnation. There could be me calling out to my principal. No, mommy, I wanted you to be my mother. I wanted to be your daughter, but I have to say this and that or whatever. When resurrection there and iron, you not know what God, how He can raise you, even if you were iron. So He changed you and He raised you. So God giving example, and the Shias not taking it literally. They're just saying He's metaphorically giving examples. And Shia ulama one thing that there's resurrection, ritual, but there cannot be transmigration of the soul. Can you believe this? I just couldn't believe it. There was a miracle in Surah Isra, or where? Bani Isra, where the Bani Israel, or Surah Baqarah. That the Bani Israel, they run away from war, God killed them, and then God bring them back to life. But the no transmigration. So much injustice. Fitna against some of the Jews here, and hypocrite Muslims, believers also. We are told against the believers in Surah Saf. So what happened? They fall short, right? They become hypocrite. What happened? I don't know what happened, but my mind, logic, this is satanic, I tell you. This what I showing, this satanic, see? And slave girls. Now you come here and see your daughter. They put me in a scenario that day. My principal I love a lot, right? If she was 20 years old and this man 58 years old, Muhammad, As a mother, I would, you know, but thank Yazid. I went wild, you know. Yazid did not make Zainab bint Ali slave girl, nor Sakina, nor Kulsum, Fatima's daughters, Zainab and Kulsum. Yazid just kept them in prison for 2 years in Damascus, where his court was, his palace was. You see, and they make us cry. Surah Hashar. ये वो उम्मत है, ये वो believers हैं, ये वो उम्मत है कि घरों को भी तोड़ देती है. Let's not say जला देती है खैमों को, trees को जला दिया. इन इस्लामिक आप देखें बराबर चेक करें हर एक इस्लामिक इसके बारे में. ट्रीज को भी जलाया कहते हैं, सुन्नी हदीसों में है, और यहाँ सीरत नबुवत में है, नबी में है, प्रॉफिट मोहम्मद की लाइफ. इफ़ नॉट दैट अल्लाह डिक्रीड. ये देखें एवैक्यूएशन, ये क्या. तो आप क्यों बोलते हैं, नोहा पढ़ते हैं शिया, कि ये वो उम्मत है जो खैमों को भी जला देती है. अरे ये वो मोमिन हैं जो टूटे हुए घरों को भी आखिरी धक्का और दो, गिरती हुई दीवार को एक धक्का और दो, गिरती हुई दीवार को एक धक्का और दो. They destroyed their houses. He cast terror, Allah cast terror into their hearts. So they destroyed their houses by their own hands and the hands of the believers. So take warning, O people of vision. And how far can your vision go? Can it go beyond the vision of these ayats and the hadiths? And how far can you believers be a witness? Tell me when it appeals to you, you being a witness. Can you see it? Can you witness? Huh? Are you going to Yathrib to witness? O people of vision, insight, foresight, can you say for sure this is right? What they did with your vision, how far can you go? When God has asked you, the loins from the loins of Adam, you bore witness. Can you see it? Can you see it when you bore witness when the Lord said, am I not your Lord? I made you bear witness. Against yourselves or for yourselves or above yourselves? That ayat. So, that one God, can you remember that day? Can you witness that day? Can you be aware of that day? Can you, people of vision, see what happened to them? Tell me, any Shia who has seen afterlife what happens. We've got this movie, or this book written by Alim. What happens after life? Shias. I bought that book or something, or did I? It was available in Karachi. I'm not sure if I bought it or not. Suffer after death. Can you witness this, O people of eyes? And what is this? Can you witness who is, before we obliterate your faces, forced conversion? Of course, they're going to be scared. You made them hypocrites. How do hypocrites? First of all, you're forcing them to become believers, Muslims. Oh, you who were given the scripture, believe in what we have. It only says believe in what we have sent down to the Prophet Muhammad, confirming that which is with you before we obliterate faces and turn them toward their backs or curse them as we curse the Sabbath breakers. God is saying, before we, God in His sovereignty is saying, so this God in His sovereignty, do you not want to find out how great this God in His sovereignty is, giving you this true religion? Then you can proclaim the bounties of your Lord unto others. And that against these polities, these Jews, these Muslim hypocrites, Badouans, here it is a forced conversion. And if you think, see the before ayat, okay? Let me see if I've made a mistake by missing a ayat. Of the Jews, there are those who displace words from the right places and say, we hear and we disobey, and hear what is not heard, and reina with a twist of their tongues and a slender to faith. If only they had said, what hear and we obey, and do hear and do look at us, it would have been better for them and more proper. But Allah hath cursed them for their unbelief, and but few of them will believe. O you who were given the scripture, believe, believe, not even obey here. And belief will come with obeying the Prophet unconditionally. Believe. Believe in what we have sent down, meaning to this Prophet, confirming that which is with you before we obliterate faces. This is a terrible warning, and it is a forced conversion, like forced marriage of Zainab to Zaid. And that is the story even doesn't make sense coming from reading the Shia. I was like, what is this? It's terrible. So before you think of Zayn, okay, but you see a person, Safiya, and then he's telling the politics that you will not, but they were expelled. So they will not go with you, as they told Surah Hasharayat. Where do I go? Surah Mumtahana, I can also show you again about what was in Surah Mumtahana I missed. And he expelled the ones. And so they will not fight you except in fortified towns or houses. That's because they opposed Allah and His Messenger. Whoever opposes, punishes him, cut down palm trees or left standing in the trunks. It was by the permission of Allah. And what Allah restored of His property to the Messenger. And you know, this Messenger has been given authority by Allah over whomever He decides. So make sure that when He forces you to marry someone, He comes in your dream, like He was present when He forced Zainab bin Josh to marry, said that your marriage, that you were a good believer would maintain a good wife, believing wife would do what? How can she be called a good believer by the Shias? And how can Zaid, actually Muhammad should have gone and counseled Zainab bin Josh to keep her marriage with Zaid. So he has over you authority given by Allah. And what Allah restored to his messenger, don't, oh God, poor immigrants expelled. But there are some good ones who gave them. Let me just, and this share what comes after them, saying, "Our Lord forgive us and our brothers." Faith, believed. Okay, sorry. Oh no, I have this. Have you not considered those who practice hypocrisy, saying to their brothers, i.e., associates, who have disbelieved among the people of the scripture, if you are expelled, we will surely leave with you, and we will not obey in regard to you anyone, ever. And if you are fought, we will surely aid you. But Allah testifies that they are liars. I don't know why. So they could not help them. Okay, sorry, the thing is on. Alarm, I have to go. And please see this. Even though I make mistakes, please overlook many of my mistakes. And I keep coming and correcting myself and canceling some of my live stream. Because if I used a wrong surah, ayat, like I did in one of my live streams against Surah Tahrim, I think it was, yeah. So please, that was cancelled, but you can listen to it. I've changed the topic, saying that it's cancelled. I put cancelled there, but you can go and look at it and hear. So thank you very. Oh, it stopped. So if they are expelled, they will not leave with them, and if they are fought, they will not aid them. And even if they should aid them, they will surely turn their backs. So these people were united. These hypocrites, they said that, that we will go with you. But then they were expelled. Hast thou not observed have you observed the hypocrites? Are you looking? Are you a witness? If they are expelled, they will not leave with them. Because this Quran has come from one side, and having proven what I have proven through the Quran ayats and the Shia commentaries, slave girls. Couldn't he just make a different house, for each the tribes and all this? Why marry them or make them slave girls and they fall into the hands of those believers whom you're saying that when will has not the time yet come that you believers what Surah Hadith ayat this and that he believes in the believers on one hand. Which believers does he believe in? Only Ali Abu Talib? So, 19. And those who have believed in Allah and His messengers, those are the ranks of the supporters of truth. No, this is not the one. But those who disbelieved, no, Surah Tawbah at 60, sorry. Surah 61. Surah Tawbah, ayat 61. Tell them he listens for your good, he believes in Allah and trusts the believers. Only Ali, Abu Talib, Salman Farsi, Abdar, and he trusts the believers. If you see certain ayats, and he believes the believers actually, or trusts. It says believes. He believes in believers. Prophet Muhammad. When you can see that, where is it? Where here it is very clear. He's saying, Allah is saying, not him. O you who have believed, why do you say what you do not do? This is that his Allah also is a hypocrite, false Allah. Because there in ayat Surah Tawbah at 61, Allah says that the Prophet believes in Allah and the believers. So Shias may say only Ali and a few were believers, right? But then when you come here, who is he talking about? But why is he saying, oh, you who have believed? Oh, you who believe, believers, why do you profess that which you do not practice? He could have simply used a Muslim. So Allah is also a hypocrite, liar, false Allah. Do you get it? If you don't get it, I will come back again and again. Allah doesn't have to put here, oh, you who believe. Why say here that which you, and we find out through Shia hadiths and Sunni tafsirs that there were some believers. Where are the footnotes? Greatly detested it is in the reckoning eyes of Allah, sight of Allah, that you should profess what you do not practice. You should do what you do not, you should say what you do not do. Indeed, Allah loves those who fight in His cause in a row. So where are the footnotes? Here it is. Malta. First, it shows that only those believers are blessed with Allah's good pleasure and approval, who are prepared to fight in His way. Only those believers, disregarding every kind of danger. Secondly, that Allah likes an army which has 3 characteristics. So it shows that now there are believers who are saying, there are 2 categories of believers here. Like the hypocrites, 2 categories and this and that. You cannot do this when you've brought things against others, fitna, so much fitna, that you can even kill the fitna bas, massacre them completely, seize them wherever you find them. Surah Azab verse 60 to 61, 62. You cannot afford to put, so he doesn't believe in all the believers, right? At least be accurate. Be accurate, precise. Surah Tawbah, ayat 61. No, no, he doesn't believe in all his believers. You see this, why he's put this here, that he believes in the believers. Because they're saying, because some of them tell the Muslims, I can't reach him, he's so clever, I need more eloquence. They swear by Allah, but Ali has all the eloquence. Shias have all the eloquence. They swear by Allah to you, to satisfy you. But Allah and His Messenger are more worthy for them to satisfy if they were to be believers. So, that's they were. It's okay. They were satisfying the Muslims, swearing to Allah. It didn't say they were lying. However, they were molesting the Prophet. Among them are men who molest the Prophet and say he is all ear. Say he listens to what is best for you. If he did that, allow Zainab bin Josh to remain a widow, or because you see the marriage failed, and he had to marry Zainab bin Josh. If you look at the tafsir of Surah Azab, ayats 36 and 37, you will find out that the marriage failed, and she was forced to marry Zaid against her consent. It's forced marriage. So he's all ears. Say he listens to what is best for you. He believes in Allah, and believes in the believers, and is a mercy to those of you who believe. Excuse me. His blessing, his effort to bring Zaid and to keep the marriage of Zaid and Zainab did not succeed. How can you trust him to be a blessing, a mercy to those of you who believe? Those Zaid and Zainab, we are told, were believers, good believers. In the Shia commentary also you can check under 36th verse, or a multilingual Quran, or do you want me to show you again? You see this? It doesn't make sense. "36. Sorry, I'm slow. Fatima and this. No one touched Fatima. They lost, the Muslims lost in the Battle of Uhud. They could have touched his daughter Fatima. Okay, 36. Refer to the commentary of verses 4, 5 and 28 to 32 of the surah about Zaid, Zainab and the Holy Prophet. Zaid's marriage with the Holy Prophet's cousin Zainab, daughter of Josh, was celebrated in Makkah 8 years before the Hijrat. At the time of their marriage, when she was informed by the Holy Prophet, she did not like the proposal. So her brother Abdullah bin Josh and both of them, according to Imam Muhammad bin Ali al-Bakr, wanted to exercise their freedom of choice in this matter. Then this verse was revealed. We must not put our own wisdom in competition with Allah's wisdom. I mean, this is not the verse, but this verse was revealed. It is not fitting for a believer, man or woman, when a matter has been decided by Allah and His Messenger, to have any option about their decision. If anyone disobeys Allah and His Messenger, he's indeed on a clearly wrong path. And then your faces will be flipping. Another ayat in Surah Azab, 70 in 69 or something. In the fire, and you would wish you had obeyed Allah and the Messenger. So, okay, continuing with the commentary. Wisdom should, and so we must accept it loyally and do the best we can to carry it out. We must make our will consonant to the will of Allah. Also refer to the commentary of Nisa 65. Zainab, the highborn, could not reconcile herself, it said. Both were good believers. So what's with the good believers? Blessings of Allah and the Messenger of Allah. I'm not saying it. Shia commentary is saying both believers, both were good believers and both loved the Holy Prophet. But there was mutual incompatibility. Huh? Then why force Zainab? To make it easier for the believers? Or to humble her and say that no, you are not highborn Hashmite, my cousin. And not only to humble her, but this would be really great that you can marry your adopted son's ex-wives, divorcees. Later have dissolved the necessary. And where does it say here? So there is, in order that in future there may be no difficulty to the believers in the matter of marriage with the wives of their adopted sons. Take your candies, go home. Happy? You believers, no difficulty. It's made very clear marriage has been wrecked. He couldn't save it with his best efforts, but the Holy Prophet tried his best. Tried his best. Come down here. Oh, where are the Holy Prophet's blessings? Mercy of Allah. He says what is good for you, what is best for you. Now Zainab's reputation would be ruined, but not when she was a widow of the Quraysh Hashemite. Because Zainab's, here, because Zainab's reputation would be ruined, but as marriage should be according to Allah's plan, a source of happiness, not torture. Oh, so he didn't think about it before when he forced Zainab to marry Zaid, that this marriage would not be a source of happiness for Zaid, nor for Zainab. And Zainab would not be a source of happiness for Zaid, not torture. Islam permits the bond of marriage to be dissolved. Now divorce is also allowed according to these circumstances, and they've been using as examples. He couldn't use his daughter Fatima, he used Zainab. Oh, Shia, Zainab was also someone's daughter. But you can't hear anything against Fatima. Zaid wished this poor Zainab. Safiya, poor Safiya, Princess Safiya, chief's daughter, Huwai bin Akhtab's daughter, the chief of the Bani Qurayza tribe, Bani Nadir tribe, Jawaria. He doesn't have to marry them. Doesn't he have control? If God has given him 40 men's power, sexual power or whatever God, then God should also give him that control. He doesn't have to marry them. They can have a house, orphanage, slave girls, not the other, but for war booty. What are you making them? They are. You are saying they are war booties, and they agreed to be Muslim. That's why she married them. But what barter, what offer to Jawaria? He freed Safiya and said, okay, that's her dowry because she's a slave girl, captive. So please read the full Sunni hadiths, tafsirs. How can you so much? Okay, I'm losing my points here, my head. Uh, you can make a separate place, home for such ladies. Then you made us cry for Zainab and Sakina and all this. Their children were taken. You read the Sunni Ibn Isa and you see, then how can you even trust Ahl Bayt? And anyways, you have to be thoroughly purified to understand this Quran, because in Surah Waqia it says, only the pure can touch this. And so, no one there to guide you properly, only the pure, and you have to rely on Ahl Bayt. Only the pure can touch this. This is, please, Surah Waqia. Right? Some say do wudu, what not. In this case, the purified ones can refer only to the angels. Only to angels. And the phrase not touch cannot be taken it literally, okay? But what it means is you can't understand this. Unless a Masumin, I think the Shias would come this, not touched, cannot be taken literally. Okay, physical touch. Let's see the Quran. What is the number of this? This is the Sunni hadith, but now this is for the Shias, 79. Surah Waqia, verse 79. Why shouldn't you be thoroughly purified? I've tried with contemplating on that. Like, you see, I will have to believe in him or go through the Quran ayats as I did, thank God, and saw that there were discrepancies. Right, 50, Surah Waqia is around 56, and the verse only the pure can touch this. Now what's the number of the verse? I've forgotten. So foremost in the garden, only the pure can touch this. Any commentary here? It is we who have created you. Why will you not witness? Oh, very good. Why will you not witness the truth? Aka Mehdi Puya says to prove the evolutionary process of the development of the life from physical to transcendental, the Quran refers to the process of creation, the development of a most intricate living being out of the most insignificant human seed. Okay, maybe the previous ayats are about this. Like, do you see the human seed that you throw out? Time between. Can you be witnesses to the truth if you are not pure, thoroughly purified? So you have to work hard, right? Surah Ala. Purify your souls yourselves. The real cause of growth, development, whereas only the pure can touch this. This is the Quran most honorable. That is, that this is indeed the Quran most honorable, mighty, and in book well guarded, which in the book well guarded, which none shall touch but those who are clean. You see? The message, the Quran is from Allah. No reasonable man ignores it or treats it with contempt. No reasonable man ignores it or treats it with contempt or refuses to follow its commandments, save the obstinate, ignorant, and the disbeliever. Reasonable man. So when I was appealing to your reason, you said he has prerogatives, he has preferences. And also this, no, you cannot, the message is from Allah. No reasonable man ignores it. Okay, this is below this. A revelation from the Lord of the worlds. But nothing here about this, that which none will touch but those who are clean. So you are doing wudu. Only the clean. What if the Shias use this and say, only Ahlul Bayt can explain to you the Quran ayats? What are you going to do? You will go to the Quran expert Shia. You will rely on them. And what will happen to you? Your reasoning, evidence, everything punctured. You will miss it. And then many things in this discipline, and you'll be disciplining. Okay, some of you may reach that because Allah gives to all. Remember, even the polytheists, if they try hard, they will get it. We were told. They will get this connection with Allah. So, this, and what else do I have to cover? Anything else? Surah Tahrim, I don't have the. And I have to go now. Thank you, Mukesh, brother. God bless you and your family members. Thank you for being here. Always, God bless you and your family members. Thank you.